So as you may know, if you own and use a color inkjet photo printer to be creating your own photography prints like I do, when you have your own printer, well, you need to buy some paper, right? And one of the first things you should do when you go out and buy a new box of paper, type of paper you've never printed on before, is go to the website of the paper company manufacturer, go to their ICC download profile page. And those ICC profiles are important because they are essentially translation layers between what you see on screen and what comes out of your printer. But one of the quirky and somewhat surprising things about printers is that printers are a lot like cars or lenses or musical instruments, anything that is manufactured, because there can always be some variability in how they are manufactured. So, for example, like you and I could go out and buy the exact same printer from the exact same store, print the exact same image on both, and there could be slight differences purely because of the variability in the manufacturing process, how the printer performs, how it works, how it sprays and lays down ink. And for that matter, your printer and my printer would also be different from whatever printer it was that the paper company manufacturer used, or I assume they used, when creating their ICC profile. So the ICC profile that you get from a paper company manufacturer is important and is something you should absolutely do if you have your own printer and you're making prints. But something to remember about those ICC profiles is that they are generic. They are designed, they are kind of like a one size fits all, kind of thing for anyone and everyone that is using their paper with that particular model of printer. And for a while now, I've known that there is an alternative. There is something else you can use instead of ICC profiles from the paper company. Instead, you can get your own custom tailored ICC profiles made for your own printer and choice of paper. And after buying this new box of Baryta Photographique II, I was very curious to see if there was any difference. So I reached out to Les Walkling, who has a great channel here on YouTube. If you've never seen it before, a bit of an authority on inkjet photo printing and fine art reproductions. He's been doing this for quite a while, has very deep knowledge in this area. And he said he'd be happy to create a custom profile for me. So he sent to me a couple of test charts for me to print. I printed those test charts on Baryta Photographique II using my Canon PRO-300 printer, trimmed them up, put them in an envelope, and shipped them over to Australia, where he then in turn scanned those test charts and created his own custom profiles, which he then emailed back to me. And we're gonna jump in here and I wanna show you the difference between his profile and the one that was provided to me, or provided to everyone else for that matter, by Canson. Let's jump in here and take a look. Okay, so this app you're looking at here, this is Color Sync Utility in macOS. And I've always had the feeling that, whoever developed this application, inside of Apple was probably just really passionate about this. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this was like, an in-house development kind of tool that someone made and someone thought, maybe we should include this in the operating system. I mean, I don't know. However this app ended up in macOS, it's awesome. And I really love using it for this purpose. So in Color Sync Utility, you're able to browse and look at all the different ICC profiles that you have installed in your operating system, including both printer and display ICC profiles. And what you're looking at here, this is the ICC profile I downloaded from Canson for the Canon PRO-300 and Baryta Photographique II. I'm going to right click on this image here and I'm going to select Hold for Comparison. Then I'm going to come up here and select the one that Les Walkling created for me. Now to clarify, we are looking at two color gamuts here. The one that you see in white and like this semi-transparent kind of white shape, that is the color gamut of the ICC profile provided by Canson through their website. The other shape you see, which is, more colorful, that's kind of like inside of the shape here you'll see, and extends outward from that shape over here. That is the color gamut of the custom ICC profile made for me and my printer and this paper by Les Walkling. The color gamut is larger. It has more volume. It expands outward more compared to the color gamut that is defined by Canson's ICC profile. Another thing that a custom ICC printer profile can provide is a stronger, better, more accurate black point, which is in the printing world and the paper world is oftentimes referred to as the Dmax of the paper, how deep the density of blacks are on that particular type of paper. Now, because I had a custom profile for Baryta Photographique II made here, which already has a pretty good black point, especially in compared to like, a matte paper, there's not like a huge difference with mine, but it does extend further out. It does have a deeper black point, a deeper Dmax compared to the ICC profile provided by Canson. And additionally, one of the things that Walkling does when he's creating these profiles, and he shared with me a couple of examples of this, another thing that he does is create a cleaner, more linear grayscale ramp to ensure that there is not, any clumping, any overlap between different values, something that could cause some muddiness in the image. And I think that's probably most useful with things like perhaps with like black and white images on matte paper where it could be more dramatic. But anyway, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, right? Looking at ICC profiles on screen is one thing. Really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the print that you make. And I made a couple of test prints here, and hopefully you're able to see this on camera. This image up here printed with the official profile is definitely more gray. It has less color. It feels less vibrant. The black point is not as deep. And for that matter, the shadow detail, like in some of these dark areas here, also get a little lost. I don't know, there's something about them which just look a little funny on closer examination. It was the kind of thing I really didn't notice until I tried this custom profile here, which definitely improved the rendering of those of like the darkest pixels in the image, those like darkest black areas and the shadow areas around them as well. It definitely helped resolve and help bring some, they just look nicer. I don't know how else to describe it. They just look more appropriate. They look more accurate. And then there's just the color of the image itself, which is definitely more vibrant and more colorful. Like this is the hue of blue. This is the hue of purple that that I wanted when I edited this image. Whereas with the official profile, it just looks a little off. Like it just doesn't quite have the same amount of red in it. It doesn't have the same depth or density. Honestly, I'd be happy with either one of these images. I think both of them look good. I mean, they both are a good representation of what it is that I see on screen. It's just that this one here is definitely more accurate, is definitely closer to my creative intent with the image compared to the generic ICC profile up there. Now, obviously, every printer and paper combination is different. This probably isn't universally true for every situation, all going to be dependent on the type of printer you have and the type of paper you're printing on, how much of a difference you're truly going to see. But I can tell you from my limited, my single use case scenario here with one type of paper and one printer. In this situation, it was definitely worth it. And if I were to, start printing more on another type of paper, or if I change printers, something like that, I think I would definitely go to the time and the expense of paying to have someone create a custom profile for me. And I guess I could buy my own equipment and do it myself, but honestly, it's rather expensive for what it is that I'm doing. It's totally overkill. I'd rather, pay someone else to help me out and do it for me. If this is something you're interested in, like if you're making your own color prints and you want to try this out for yourself, I'll put Les Walkling's information down below in the video description. And if for some reason he doesn't work out, you can't get a custom profile made with him, there are other places online, other businesses out there which will create a custom ICC profile for you. I know that there are some paper companies as well. I think PhotoSpeed still does this. I think PhotoSpeed will create custom profiles for you if you print a test chart that they give you and send it to them, because that's the ultimate goal here, right? The ultimate goal is to squeeze the best possible image out of that printer that you invested money into. Get the best possible image out of it. All right, everyone, that's it. I'll see you next time.